Another bombshell just dropped from Gan Deal. And yeah, this one hits hard. He's officially spilling the tea on Tupac's shooting, stuff 50 Cent allegedly refused to touch in his Netflix doc. We're talking $1 million check, claims that Diddy knew Tupac was about to get shot, and the real story behind Biggie's murder. Apparently, this is exactly the kind of info Netflix didn't want floating on their platform, but you're about to get it all, right here, right now. Let's be real, you clicked this video because Gan Deal is exposing what 50 didn't want you to see, and trust me, you're in the right place. So let's dive straight in. 50 Cent just sold his Diddy documentary to Netflix for millions. Naturally, everyone in hip-hop expected Gan Deal to be front and center. Why? Because Gan was Diddy's personal bodyguard during Bad Boy's glory days. He's also been the loudest voice spilling Bad Boy secrets for years. He saw it all. But when the doc dropped, nada. No interview, no footage, not even a mention.
Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest. Now, Combs is threatening legal action against the streamer for airing the unauthorized footage. Behind the series is Combs' longtime rap rival 50 Cent and director Alexandria Stapleton, who sat down with NBC News' Chloe Malas ahead of tonight's release.
Now, Gan is finally explaining why he's missing from the doc. He claims he's got footage, conversations, and solid proof that 50 Cent cut entirely from the final version. And honestly, once you hear what Gan's saying, it's not hard to see why 50 might have been nervous to include it. In this video, you'll hear why Gan Deal walked away from the documentary, the moment Diddy allegedly knew Tupac was about to get shot and did nothing, the $1 million check Gan says he saw with his own eyes tied directly to Tupac's murder, the full story behind Biggie's murder, including warnings Gan says were ignored. This is serious. Let's break it down. Before we get into Gan's leaked evidence, here's context. The documentary was reportedly meant to be over 10 episodes, but instead, 50 Cent dropped a 4-part Netflix series called Diddy, The Reckoning, packed with never-before-seen footage filmed just days before Diddy's arrest. Private lawyer convos, Diddy greeting fans in Harlem, behind-the-scenes moments no one had ever seen. Interesting, sure, but according to Gan Deal, it skipped the juiciest parts. Gan says the series was supposed to reveal everything, every crime, every cover-up, but the real truth left on the cutting room floor. So who is Gan Deal? He was Diddy's bodyguard at the peak of Bad Boy, lived through East Coast versus West Coast tensions, was in Vegas the night Tupac was shot, in LA when Biggie was killed. He saw it all firsthand, and now he's done staying quiet. First question everyone's asking, why isn't Gan Deal in the doc?
I want to put her on blast because she was telling me, she was saying to me that what I was asking for was crazy and they wasn't spending money like that. I'm talking about you got footage, you got clothing, I was doing footage, I had pictures, all the stuff that I had, you could figure out a way to pay a brother and stuff like that. And then I was telling her about some prices that I've already received and I had the invoices to show it. And then she was calling me like I was lying. I'm like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. If you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another, and I was like, all right, well then, F you, I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and goes out of this doc.
Gan explained it recently. He started with the documentary team early on. They wanted his footage, his stories, everything. But then a conversation with director Alex Stapleton changed everything. According to Gan, she told him flat out that 50 Cent didn't control the money or the content, and when Gan saw what they were offering him financially, he felt completely disrespected. Think about it. Gan has footage no one else has, access to some of the most critical moments in hip-hop history, and they offered him pocket change compared to what it was worth. So Gan said no, walked away. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just about money. The documentary also skipped key evidence Gann knows about.
Wolf was not the gunman who killed Jake, and Mark Curry knows that to be true. You understand? And East Coast War was more like Helena of Troy. When Puff got mad at Suge for being out there and allowing Misa to come out there to make money, however she was doing it, to feed her family, he vowed down that it's like, yo, I ain't never fucking with her again, and I ain't never fucking with him again. Puff and Suge had a conversation behind the House of Blues about was we all right, and Tupac was alive. Tupac wasn't dead. So if it was a war, Suge ain't having no conversation with Puff about we good. I know he could be doing a Hoboken hustle, trying to fool him, brother, but have that killed, and had he killed my man or some shit like that, I wouldn't have no conversation with Puff. I'd been like, yo, you know what y'all niggas done? You know what happened? And it wasn't no conversation like that, brother. It wasn't no conversation whereas that, you know, Suge made Puff feel like I'm gonna get you a payback for what happened to Jake. This was more so that Puff, for whatever reason, Suge, for whatever reason he was mad at Puff, and Puff, for whatever reason he was mad at Suge, it was between them two. It wasn't no whole East Coast wanted the West Coast dead, and the West Coast wanted East Coast to dead, because they still was going out, still chilling, still at places with each other. It was Bad Boy, and it was Death Row. It was no East Coast and no West Coast. West Coast dudes were still coming out on the East Coast getting love. East Coast niggas was still going out on the West Coast getting love. It was Bad Boy versus Death Row. And that's what it was, bro. And it was because of the two CEOs. But Suge tried to straighten it out. I gotta get at the Suge. The Death Row East Coast was going to bring in Eric B. It was going to bring in Big D. And those brothers was from the East Coast. So now they was looking for a representative to come to the meeting from Bad Boy so they could straighten out the shit between Pac and Big and Death Row and Bad Boy. And Puff is the one who refused. Puff is the one to refuse to send a representative or either come himself, and got mad at Zip and them because they were in the Mirage on 57th Street partying with Suge Knight. Got mad at them, and Zip hung up the phone on behind that.
But what you mean by Mark Curry? He know who killed Big J?
It was some Jamaican dude from the Bronx. He's dead now. The police ended up killing him at Magic City. I don't know his name, but Mark Curry know that it wasn't Wolf.
But when I was looking at the documentary, Kirk Burroughs, he did confirm that Big, he didn't want to go to LA, and they was actually getting warnings not to go to LA. But you know, Diddy, he wanted to go, man.
Oh man, yo, we must have had warnings, man. I didn't know. I knew that we shouldn't be out there in the first.
For example, they talk about East Coast versus West Coast, but Gann says they censored the truth about bodyguard Jake Wolf's death. He claims Mark Curry knows exactly who killed him, a Jamaican man from the Bronx, later killed by police at Magic City. Gann also says the whole East Coast versus West Coast story is wrong. This was Bad Boy versus Death Row, Diddy versus Suge Knight. Artists were still touring coast to coast. The real beef? The labels. And here's the part cut entirely. Death Row allegedly tried to make peace, setting up a meeting to squash the beef between Tupac and Biggie. According to Gann, Diddy refused. No one from Bad Boy went. That too was deleted. You can see why 50 might have been nervous. Gann saying all this violence could have been stopped and wasn't. Now the most explosive claim. Gann Deal says Diddy knew Tupac was about to get shot at Quad Studios, and he was there while it happened.
Talk about the whole incident of the Quad Studio shit. Like in the documentary, they was talking about that, right? You know what I'm saying? They talked about the Quad Studio shit, but they didn't mention the fact, and they left it out, that Big and C's did not know that Puff and Andre Harrell was in Jimmy Henchman's office the day Pac got killed. I mean, the day Pac got shot at Quad Studio. Let me repeat that again so it don't get mixed up in the whole thing. They did not mention that Andre Harrell and Puff Daddy and Jimmy Henchman were all in the office together. Puff was on the office because he was trying to spy on Big them, because Big was writing the Junior Mafia stuff and Puff had his publishing. I told this to a couple of people before. I said it before, and you got people that's running with it like they knew the story in the whole 9 yards. You understand? They'll lie and you ask them, how do you know that? Who told you? They couldn't even tell you that. They'll tell you some lie, they did some kind of investigation, but it didn't happen like that. You understand? Puff was there there to spy on Big because he had owned Big Publishing. And Big had turned around, and the same people who helped Puff get Big Publishing told Big to turn and put Tatiana or put somebody else's name on his publishing or give it to Lil C's or whoever, this, that, and the third that he wrote for so he can get the money from it. So that's how that went down. So they was there to spy on Big. In the interim of him being there to spy on Big, Jimmy Henchman told him that they finna teach Pac a lesson because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was gonna work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean. And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly, unless you 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac.
He knew Pac was about to deal well. Yeah, he was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them. When Jimmy Henchman told him that, he was there to see what's going to happen to Pac. He was there for that because had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big them. He would have went to that studio session with Big them. He knew what room Big them was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pac after Jimmy told him, and that's factual.
The doc covers the 1994 Quad Studios shooting, where Tupac was hit 5 times. But Gann says it left out the crucial detail. Diddy, Andre Harrell, and Jimmy Henchman were all together in Jimmy's office that day. Biggie didn't even know Diddy was there. Diddy was supposed to be upstairs with Biggie, working on Junior Mafia tracks. But instead, he stayed downstairs, keeping tabs. Why? Biggie was trying to get out of a publishing deal Diddy owned. Gann says Diddy went to Jimmy Henchman's office to monitor everything, and while there, Diddy allegedly told Diddy they were about to, quote, teach Tupac a lesson over a debt. Gann claims Diddy knew the plan. He didn't go upstairs to warn Biggie, he stayed put. Tupac was shot, and according to Gann, Diddy did nothing, and the doc, completely silent on all of it. Gann also explains why Diddy allegedly held so much animosity toward Tupac in the first place.
That hate stemmed from wanting to be him, idolize him off, he idolized Tupac because you gotta realize when a woman looked at Tupac, they probably wanted him. Puff wasn't getting that type of fever from girls. You understand what I'm saying? Puff had to use his money, Puff had to use his position in order to get women. Now I seen him with some bad joints, and I used to look at them like this, like, not on no hating shit, but like, you wouldn't be here if he wasn't puffed.
According to Gann, it wasn't music rivalries driving the drama, it was jealousy. Not over songs, but over women. Gann says Tupac had that magnetic pull. Women were naturally drawn to him. Meanwhile, Diddy had to lean on money and status. Gann even recalls walking women out after they'd been with Diddy, thinking, if he wasn't Puff, you wouldn't be here. He says Diddy once admitted, I don't know how to talk to women. Gann claims that jealousy fueled a lot of what came next. And here's the kicker. Gann isn't just talking stories, he says he has proof.
Me and my man Boondang, aka my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us the check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million, you understand? I asked Boone, I said, yo, Boone, when did he get a record label? He said, you know how Zip is. I said, when did he get a Zip record label? Zip had a check for $1 million. He said he got it from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for his record label, Black Ground Records. So now, if that's true, we know Jimmy Henchman and Puff was cool. You should be able to trace $1 million if that's the truth. If that's the truth, you should be able to trace.
Gann describes a wild moment on 112th Street with a man named Eric Zip Von Zip. Zip pulled up bragging about a new car and then showed a check for $1 million. Gann says he saw it with his own eyes. Zip allegedly said the money came from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for Black Ground Records right after Tupac's death. Gann insists that if law enforcement actually wanted to solve Tupac's murder, all they'd need to do is follow that check. This wasn't cash under the table. $1 million check leaves a paper trail. Banks, signatures, records. Gann says the evidence is there if anyone dares to look.
Law enforcement on how, if Diddy had anything to do with breaking that money up or giving that money up to him like that, or did he use somebody else, or did he do something for somebody else to be able to get that money for that? We don't know.
I was just about to say that too. Keefe D, he can use him for the upcoming trial.
Well, Kirk was articulate in always keeping notes and files and things like that. But that money can't just do a trace on $1 million check. Just do a trace on them. I want them to do it because that would prove that I saw $1 million check. That would prove. Just do a trace on it. The man dead now. What you gonna do? Do it.
And there's another key player, Kirk Burroughs, former president of Bad Boy Records. Gann says Kirk kept super detailed notes on everything. Kirk allegedly even paid people to fly to Las Vegas around the time Tupac got shot. Gann admits he doesn't remember that part firsthand, but if Kirk has those files, that could be the evidence that cracks this case wide open. Gann points out you can't exactly hide $1 million. If documentation exists showing who got paid and for what, Kirk could be the witness to expose it all. The big question, will anyone actually investigate, or is this evidence doomed to stay buried for another 30 years? Now buckle up, because the next part is insane. Gann Deal was there the night Biggie was killed, and the story flips everything most people think they know. Before heading to LA, Gann got warnings. First, a call from Wadsworth Unique Hall, a major drug kingpin locked up in Colorado with El Chapo. All he said, "Vest up." Then the call dropped. Gann called back through the connector, confirmed it was really Unique. Another message, "They're coming out. They're coming to get y'all." Gann immediately called Kirk Burroughs for more security. There were only 4 guards for Diddy, Biggie, and the crew, not enough, but Diddy refused extra protection. Then a second warning from Chaz Williams, "They're coming." Gann knew the threat was real, with beef everywhere. Jake Wolf's death, a Winter Bagel shooting linked to Biggie, Diddy arguing at Soul Train, and of course, Tupac's murder. Gann went to Andre Harrell's house where Diddy was staying. Diddy came down in a white Beverly Hills hotel robe. Gann laughed later, but then got serious. "Yo, Puff, I got intel. People are gonna try to kill us." Diddy's response? "I don't want to hear that You don't have to go if you don't want to." And then he walked off. Later, Gann found out from Clark Kent, DJ and VP at Motown, that Biggie told Clark the party he was going to was set up by Drock and Puff. This wasn't random, it was planned. At the Peterson Museum, Gann was on high alert, gun ready, watching the crowd, but Diddy ordered him into the car. Gann was furious. "How the F are you gonna tell me how to do my job?" But he got in. He told driver Kenny, "Run the next 3 lights. Run the next 3 lights." Then chaos. Tone shouted, "Yo, Big's name ain't coming across the light." Someone aimed a gun at Big. Shots rang out. Kenny gunned it. Gann screamed, "What the F are you doing, Kenny? They're shooting at Big." They tried to chase the shooter but lost them. Instead of the nearest hospital 2 blocks away, Kenny drove 30 minutes. Gann's last words to Biggie? "Don't let him go to sleep. Keep him up." Biggie's last words? "Just do it." Gann believes if they'd gone to the closer hospital, Biggie might have survived. Gann clarifies he doesn't think Diddy pulled the trigger, but here's his point.
It seems strange. Could Puff have been involved in Tupac's murder or Biggie's murder?
I think that when you set up an atmosphere for something to happen, how involved are you? You set up the atmosphere. You put people in positions to get hurt. He knew that somebody was going to do something. He was told. I told him before we left. I told him. Mace told him. See, people ain't telling. See, everybody think that Gene Deal is the only one know this shit. I'm not the only one that's noticed and privy to this information. I'm the only one that's speaking on it and has spoke on it. Now, people are coming out gradually, but when Puff set up an atmosphere for somebody to get hurt and they get hurt, don't you take some responsibility for that?
Is that more tactics? He's not going to pull the trigger. He might not even pay someone to do so, but like releasing that song Who Shot You, that creates an atmosphere, creating certain things and planting seeds in somebody else's mind to be number one, where Tupac ends up getting killed, Biggie ends up being killed.
When you set the stage for something to happen, you're responsible for it, Gann says. Diddy put people in danger, knew something was coming, and did nothing. Gann isn't the only one with this info. Others saw it too. he's just the only one talking publicly. Think about it. Diddy released Who Shot Ya after Tupac got hit, refused peace meetings, took Biggie to LA despite warnings, and was present when violent plans were being made, all without alerting anyone. Gann asks a simple question: if you create the conditions for someone to get hurt, aren't you responsible? He's not saying Diddy pulled the trigger or paid someone, but by planting ideas, refusing peace, and setting dangerous situations in motion, did he play a role in Tupac and Biggie's deaths? So why did 50 Cent leave this out of Netflix? 3 reasons. Legal risk. Keffe D is on trial for Tupac's murder. Unverified claims could interfere with a federal investigation. Credibility. Gann is entertaining, but some call him a conspiracy theorist. 50 probably cut him to keep the doc bulletproof. Diddy's lawyers even sent Netflix a cease and desist, calling it a hit piece. Money. Gann wanted payment he felt his story deserved. 50, the businessman, cut him out. Meanwhile, other drama, Diddy reportedly sent 50 Cent funeral-style flowers at Club 11 in Miami. After all this, it's hard not to believe Gann deal. He has specific, consistent details, was actually there, and is finally spilling everything. From Diddy knowing about Tupac's quad studio shooting, the $1 million check, the ignored warnings before Biggie's death, and Diddy's role in creating a dangerous atmosphere. Netflix left it out for legal, credibility, or financial reasons. Gann, he's not staying quiet. The world is hearing it now. So, what do you think? Is Gann Deal telling the truth? Was Diddy involved in Tupac and Biggie's deaths? What's next for the federal investigation now that all this info is public? Comment below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.